Well, the Falcons now are getting ready to receive the ball. They won the coin toss, which was pretty in the air. And Jackson, who receives for the Falcons, is number 21, Mike Story. And number 9, Derek Fletcher, all going to be back deep for the Falcons. The Tarblooders from Cleveland Glenville coming in tonight's contest with an 0-3 record, having tough defeat given by Canton McKinley, Canton Glen Oak, and I'm not sure of the third one. Kicking off for the Tarblooders will be number 2, Vance Benton, will be doing the kicking chores. Tonight we have a pretty good football night. It'll be down into the low 50s. It'll be colder for us up here than it will be for them down there, but a good football night nonetheless.
Glad that old wind's not blowing. It's getting a little bit nippy up here right now. If we had that wind that we had earlier today coming out of the north, it'd be a little bit chilly right now.
There is no wind here in Falcon Stadium tonight, and this is the opening kickoff. A short kick. Sorry's going to field it around the 30-yard line. His knee touched just before the 30. Ball's going to rest on the 28-yard line for the Falcons as they begin the first offensive series for the night.
Again, it's funny the way the ball bounces. You know, it's a rather poor kick, but we were even up, I think, kind of shallow there, the 20, 25-yard line, but still we're not far enough to field the ball, and the ball landed like a wedge shot there, and of course our return man hit his knee on the ground, and that's where the ball was marked.
Derek Fletcher's the quarterback for the Falcons under center. Handoff's going to go to Starry, who has a hole. He's going to pick up about 8 on that play. Speaking of the kicking game, the Glenville Tarblooders don't really have a famous kicking game. Last year, instead of kicking PATs, they tried for the 2-point conversions every time, not really confident in their kicking game. And fortunately for the Falcons, that gave us the advantage for a 20-18 win last year. Of course, that was a strange game. The Falcons were up by 20 points.
Real strange, Kevin. We'll talk about that later, I guess.
Second down, 6. Second down and 4. Pick up 6 on that last play. Turner's going to be in motion. Motter's going to get the handoff straight up the middle. It's going to be close to the 35-yard line. Pick up about 3 on that play.
And again, we've got to establish the here real quick and get some momentum going. And the first 2 plays here, we seem to control the line of scrimmage, and hopefully, we can do that, continue to do that the rest of the evening.
Certainly, having a good, productive offense would be the best that the Falcons need right now after scoring only 10 points in the past 3 ball games, not having a touchdown in over 11 quarters of play. But there's a good pickup for the Falcons. Starry able to pick up the first down of the evening.
Yeah, you've seen a good example of some good movement off the line of scrimmage. Well, we really fired out, and we've seen some down linemen about 4 or 5 yards downfield there. And when that happens, of course, you pick up some nice yardage.
Ball now resting on the 41-yard line, the Falcons' own 41. Single back is Motter. Turner's going to be in motion. Motter has an opening. He's going to pick up a good 5 yards on that play. Well, John, hopefully this week the Falcons can do what Mooney did last week in the second quarter, maintain long rushing drives.
Yeah, I like to see that, Kevin, but, something that we haven't seen yet either, that our offense has been lacking is that big play. We haven't seen that 30, 40-yard run or, the bomb or whatever that we're used to seeing every once in a while, especially, from the likes of Leo Hawkins and a few other good backs we've had here the past few years.
Turner in motion again. Starry's going to get it on the counter. Going to pick up about 4, close to 5 on that play. Going to bring up 3rd down and 1 for the Falcons. Speaking of the big play, the Falcons have had only 2 real good runs for big yardage this season. It's been 2 28-yard runs by Mike Starry in the first game against Cheney. But like you said, since then we really haven't had a big explosive pass or running play. 3rd down and 2. Handoff's going to go to Starry. He's going to plunge forward for the first down yardage. It's going to be into Tarblooder territory. Ball on their own 48-yard line.
That's going to be close, and I thought, Kevin, we're looking right down the yard marker here, and his knee must have hit back farther than what I could see, because it looked like he picked up maybe a yard or so more, but where it's at being marked at right now, it's going to be awfully close.
I'm sitting here not observant of anything. I didn't even notice that. I'm going on that we had the first down. It is a lot closer than I had initially called, and the outcomes have changed, and the officials were going to measure for this one.
It'd be interesting to see what we do here. You know, we are at midfield, and of course, if it does come up short, and which it is, you know, we've only got maybe a half a yard at most, and we have been moving the ball quite well up to this point.
Looks like we got about 2-3 chain lengths, the little chain lengths on the first down markers. And Coach Dave Hartman is going to go for it now on 4th and inches.
As I said, we've been getting pretty good movement up front there. You know, I would think Dave's making a pretty wise decision here myself.
Officials now setting the chains back up. Dorenzo's going to snap to Fletcher. Hand off to Motter straight up the middle. And he'll have it.
Yeah, we got that one with room to spare, Kev. We got probably a yard or two out of that. Nice surge by the people up front again, in the middle especially.
Well, Falcons able to convert there on 4th down and inches. It'll bring up first down for them on the Tarbletter's 47-yard line. Once again tonight we're lacking of the field yardage markers on the field, and we have to rely on the little signs on the sidelines.
Well, I'm kind of looking here for maybe a little play action here. You know, on first down, Kevin, maybe we'll go with a little play action, but maybe try and go up top on him here.
And you got it right there on the mark. We're going deep to Turner, and it is over him by a couple feet. A good throw by Derek Fletcher, just a little over Turner. We went for the big bucks there.
Yeah, the thing surprised me. It was play action, but the people up front there, you know, the Glenville down people didn't really respect the run, and Derek had to unload that one a little bit sooner probably than he wanted to, because I think if we'd have given him a little bit more time, you know, Rich was just breaking beyond the secondary there, and I think we'd have had a score.
Well, Turner definitely had the lead on any defensive players for the Tarbletters.
You don't expect that, really. You know, it's play action, especially first down, but for some reason there, they just disregarded it. Maybe it was a poor fake.
2nd down, 10. Handoff's going to go to Castari on that counter, and he has some open yardage and tripped up about 11 yards later. Good enough for the first down.
Yeah, we're really doing a good job up inside, Kev. We're off to a good start here tonight. Just as felt like we ran the ball there in the second quarter. You know, last week against Mooney there, we just, whatever we ran, you know, it seemed to be successful. You know, we just had a nice scheme going there.
Andre Hicks for the Tarbletters on that stop. Falcons now entering deeper into Tarbletter territory. We have a Falcon down on the field. Can't see the number right now. Since we do have a break in the action, let me set up the offenses on the field right now, starting for the Falcons. At center is number 60, John Dorenzo. At the guards are number 50, Devin Fitzpatrick, and number 66, Dan Black. At the tackles for the Falcon offense, number 76, Tom Barfi, and number 77, Damian Billack. At the tight end, senior Ron Swallow, number 86. And at the split end, number 22, Rob Tofel, and also you'll see out there number 5, Tom Vosier. In the backfield, at fullback was number 40, Keith Motter. At the tailback position, number 21, Mike Starry. At the wingback, number 1, Rich Turner. And finally, for the Falcons, number 9, quarterback Derek Fletcher at the helm. That was number 5, Tom Vosier, who was shaken up on that play, but he looks all right. First down and 10. Ball resting on the probably about 36-yard line.
Here's going to be a problem again, Kevin. It's hard for me to figure out and determine where the ball's at, because the markers now are being concealed by the Fitch Falcons on the other side.
Starry behind a Falcon unbalanced line to the short side of the field. Pick up of about 3 on that play. 2nd down and 7.
That's probably the first time that Glenville, has really done a decent job of, shutting down that off-tackle hole. We always talk about that, and I think most coaches, this is what they like to do at the beginning of the ball game, is establish that off-tackle hole, because usually if you can get that, if you do get into a short yardage, 2 or 3 yard situation, you know where you can go. And we've established that already here in the first quarter.
Turner in motion. Motter's going to get the call, but there's flags on the play. I didn't see what it was, but probably illegal motion on the Falcons. against the Falcons.
This is something that, kind of plagued us, Kevin, in the last 2 weeks especially. We had the one play up at Menor, which could have changed the ball game around here late in the ball game. We had a motion penalty that called back a first down pass completion. And last week against Mooney, we had a nice drive going there, and we got down to a second and short yardage situation and ended up with a second and long. And I don't think we recovered from any situation. And now again, moving the ball quite well, we're second and long here. Because of a penalty.
It looks like a steady flowing drive is now seen to be hampered a little. Second down and 12. It's that counter to Turner, and he has open field. And into the end zone, Turner will go for his second touchdown of the year.
Open field, and a little bit more than that, Kev. We got 6.
Turner in for the score, his second touchdown of the year, and the Falcons' only second touchdown. He has both of them, Turner, there.
We caught Glenville pursuing a little bit too quickly there, and a few people didn't stay at home. Well, we executed that quite well. We got some nice downfield blocking, too, from a few people.
There was that successful counter play, or the wingback counter trap, as they called. Kyle Turner scored in the first quarter against Cheney, and he scores once again in the first quarter with 6:35 remaining against Glenville, and Glenville is going to be charged with jumping offside.
We're reaching the point here where they just put the ball down on about the yard and a half line there and just say, bring the offensive football team out here and let them run, because it seems like every week, or every time we score, they're going to get us this time. We've done a pretty good job of that, drawing the defensive team offside when we get down here in this, the extra point situation.
That's going to move the ball back 5 yards for Jeff Wilkins, the sophomore, doing the kicking chores right here for the point after.
You still haven't disclosed that secret yet, have you?
This mysterious secret, it's a vow that any football player is not allowed to release that secret to anyone after they graduate. The kick is up, and it's going to be no good. Looks like it was somehow wide to the left. It was hard to tell from this position.
Yeah, he must have hooked it a little bit, Kevin, because it was wide to the left. From here, it looked like it was right down the center of the goalpost, but we'll have to compensate for that here a little bit later here when we score our next touchdown and go for 2 probably.
That makes Wilkins 1 for 2 on the year for extra points, as he is 1 for 2 on field goal attempts, having his first successful field goal last week against the Cardinal Mooney Cardinals.
And it should be interesting because Cleveland usually brings some real scatbacks down here, and we're probably going to see the ball up in the air quite often. We're probably going to see some reverses, some deep ends around, and that type of thing. So this should be kind of a fun evening.
Number 8, Larry Bucciarelli, doing the kickoff for the Falcons here.
But teams like this do scare you because they do have that great speed, and at any time during the ball game they can break one and get themselves right back in the ball game in a hurry.
Andre Hicks is deep, but we're going to have an offsides on the Falcon kickoff team. Flag down on the 45-yard line, making the assumption that the call will be that. I don't have the official stats, but I think that Turner touchdown was about, I'm guessing, around 40 yards.
That's what I was going to say, Kev. I think you're pretty close.
It's hard to keep track of where the ball is, as we said before, without the yard being marked on the field. But right now, the refs will be able to mark 5 off from the 40-yard line, and I'll move the ball back to the 35 for Bucciarelli to kick once again. This could give Tarbletters good field position for their first possession of the evening. Hicks standing in between the 10 and 15-yard lines on the south end of the field.
And this, as we said, is always a scary situation because I know I was always glad to see against teams like this, that we go down and cover the kickoff and, let them start their offense even if it was from the 35, 40-yard line, because you're always worried about them breaking that long one.
That bounces off one of the front players. That's an interesting kick, and luckily his knee went down there. One of the middle receivers, number 85, fielding that kick, Terrence McGee, fielding the kick for the Tarbletters, and fortunately his knee hit the ground on the 45-yard line. I think Bucciarelli playing a little soccer there.
Well, I'm curious now to see what kind of formations. I was talking to one of the assistant coaches during the week, Kevin. I guess they come out with a few different alignments, and I can't wait to see what they are.
As we mentioned in the first game, we had garbage defenses. Now we'll see a new one, garbage offenses. He's going straight from the shotgun, number 12 for the Tar Blooders. Carl Reed's their quarterback. First play straight from the shotgun. The receivers are covered, and quickly, as the pass is caught, but at the same time, he is hit.
And I guess that's a good indication now of the fact that Cleveland probably doesn't feel like they could, run the football or move the ball that well on the ground against it.
Strong safety, number 28, Scott Lawrence, making the hit quickly after that completion. They got 4 on that play. Well, you may be right. They may rely strictly on the pass here to pick up 4 or 5 yards where the run would probably do. We're going to stop in a regular formation, I behind the quarterback, Carl Reed. 2 wideouts for the Tar Blooders. The pitch is the 5 Hicks. He's going to pick up about 3, cutting back into the middle. 50, Devin Fitzpatrick, and number 84, Eric McMahon on the stop for the Falcons.
And they are quick, too. And that's usually what you see from a team like this that has a lot of speed. You know, they're going to see probably some dives, and you're going to see some pitch right and pitch left, and try and get them out there where they can utilize some of that speed.
No shock on this play. I guess they only use that for first down situations. 3rd down, about 5. Ball resting on the 42-yard line. Hicks is going to get it again, but he's going to be stopped in the backfield, dragged down by number 80, Don Hauser, quickly. Making good play from his inside linebacking position. He's going to lose 2 on that play.
Okay, I guess I'm wrong again. Those are some pretty basic formations there. Just the pro eye and the shotgun, of course, and maybe they're saving some of that other stuff for later.
They better not save it too long, because at this rate, I don't think they'll be holding the ball that long. But like last year, I do recall last year that towards about the 3rd quarter, me, you, and Randy were getting pretty desperate for conversation and things to talk about. The next thing we know, they recovered 2 fumbles for touchdowns. But this is a bad snap, and he just gets the punt off. And Starry makes a big mistake. Is able to recover, maybe. And he did. That was close.
Why did you mention that, Kevin?
I'm sorry. I apologize for cursing Mike Starry there.
But you're exactly right. We just totally dominated that football game last year up until that point, and all of a sudden, we look up at the scoreboard, and they got 2 quick scores, and, they really weren't, I don't think, even on offense at the time when they scored. They picked up fumbles and took them in, and before you know it, we're fighting for our life, and hopefully it doesn't happen again tonight.
Right there was a big scare for the Falcons. But Starry able to recover that ball after struggling several times. 3:29 remaining in the first quarter. Motter has some open territory behind a blocker. He's going to pick up a good 20 yards on that play.
I think we found somewhat of a weakness there. We seem to be really picking on their right side and going over our left side. And, we ran the fullback there, even with that counter, Kevin, we ran, over that particular area. And I look for the coaching staff probably to really pick on those people now on that particular side of the defense.
Seems that short side of the field is getting most of that attack. Strength of the Falcon offense lies to the wide side of the field, and that's where the ball is going to go. Sorry. Going to pound through the middle for about 5. Bring up 2nd and 5.
And looking up at the clock again, we're down to less than 3 minutes already, and probably going to be similar to last week's game because, we, again, are a ball control type offense, and last week we had 2 ball control type offenses, so that football game moves rather quickly.
2nd down and 5. Fletcher at the quarterback. Starry's going to get it once again, and he's going to have enough for the first down, about 3 yards more, pick up about 8 on that play. Well, Falcons mounting another drive here.
Yeah, right now we look like a machine out there. Kevin, we're just executing real well up inside, and the backs, of course, are picking well. They're finding the holes, and we're getting them into the secondary where they're starting to break some tackles, too. And again, look for that maybe on first down, that play action, because when the secondary starts making those tackles, you know, they start coming up. You know, it's nice time to try and get deep on them.
About the same position that Fletcher tried that first patch, just over the fingertips of Rich Turner. We're going to have all our offense on that left side of the field, and Motter's going to follow it. And he's going to get a good 7 yards on that carry.
Well, what Keith has got to learn to do here is, as you probably noticed too, Kevin, he's starting to stop. You know, he's getting into the secondary, and you know, he's going to have to be able to, you know, if he wants to make a cut, you know, just plant and, you know, without breaking stride, okay, you know, make that cut. Or else, you know, being a fullback, I know he's not really that big, but, you know, just kind of lower that shoulder and try and get maybe an extra yard or two. You know, he's kind of opening up himself or making himself susceptible to injury there, because he just pulled up and somebody almost got a pretty good shot at him.
Trying, I think, maybe read the defensive secondary and make cuts instead of just exploding it into that secondary. Not to take anything away from Cleveland or the Falcons' first scoring drive, but I hope this drive we're able to plow down with good normal plays for the Falcon offense. I don't call normal, but we use that counter again to score on that big play. But hopefully the Falcons can mount a good, strong drive all the way into the end zone here.
And as we've pointed out several times before, too, it's a very difficult offense to stop, or defense, you know, when it's run, you know, like we're running it right now. You know, there's so many different things you could do. There's a lot of deception. And when you can get people up front executing, you know, and getting off the football, you know, you got your hands full when you're playing defense against it. But again, with any offense, you know as well as I do, you know, people have to get the job done, especially up front. You know, people have to execute, and if you don't, regardless of what offense you're running, you're going to have problems.
Falcons seem to be avoiding most of those problems here right now on this drive. Ball resting just outside the 30-yard line. Motter's going to struggle forward to about the 30-yard line. Maybe that's the 30-yard line. We got that down.
Keith's doing a pretty decent job of picking up there. You know, so he's finding daylight. You know, he's bouncing to the outside or back to the inside, curling it back, and managing to find some seams there and picking up some nice yardage.
The offense is doing just what we hope an offense would. They're being able to run all the backs in the backfield, both Motter and Starry and Turner, all getting good yardage on their carries. It's going to be good enough for the first down, but I'm not going to be that quick to call it again.
I think you're right, Kev. I think we got it this time.
Starry was on that carry. He's going to get enough for the first down. Ball now resting on the 27-yard line of the Tarblooders. Falcons, after tonight, going into next week, their schedule becomes even tougher than it has been in the first 3 games so far. Next week, we go to Massillon in Paul Brown Tiger Stadium to take on the Tigers there. And right after that, we have Ursuline at YSU.
Yeah, more or less, party's over, I guess, Kevin, you might say, because, boy, we're right into the meat of the schedule now. It's just 1 week after another, boys, like championship football. You know, we're going to play the best in the area.
Falcons probably do have one of the hardest schedules in the state of Ohio. I'm sure if Randy was here, he'd have factual information on that. But I can only give a guess.
Yeah, we don't do our homework like Randy did. We have, I guess, I shouldn't say better things to speak of. But the old Randy managed to always come up with those very interesting statistics, I guess you might call them.
Well, the one statistic we can tell you is that it is the end of the first quarter, with the Fitch Falcons leading over the Cleveland Glenville Tarblooders with a 6-0 advantage.
And what we could use here tonight is, you know, I guess you might want to call it a blowout. I'd like to see us put 4 or 5 scores up there and get some momentum going into those big football games, Kevin, because we're going to need some offense. You know, if we can't move the football on those people, you know, we know that they can. I guess we were just talking about McKinley down there earlier, and I guess McKinley's got a real powerhouse. They've been just rolling over people, you know, their first 3 opponents.
I think they've been racking up, I think they're averaging at least 45 points so far in their first 3 games.
And sometimes the best defense against those people is offense. You know, if you keep the football away from them and try and put some points on the board, you know, got a pretty good chance of staying in there with them.
I'm sure when Canton McKinley arrives here on October 30th, they'll be wanting to avenge that loss that they suffered in the playoffs last year, the Falcons defeating them 28-24 to move on to the semifinals. Second down.
I'm sure they're pointing to that one, Kevin, because that one kind of put a damper on their season last year, needless to say.
Looking at the schedule also, and we did mention Ursuline down at YSU. Now there's a surprise also. They're 3-0 going into their game this weekend. A surprise, they were predicted to be the worst in the SEC. So we'll have to see. That'll be a tough game. And Turner on that counter trap again. And he was close to breaking it. He's going to get good yardage on that, about 14.
Well, we had a good view of that one, Kevin, and boy, it's nice to watch something like that from up here because there were 3 or 4 key blocks in there, and again, it's just like, you know, you would draw it up on the board, but we're just executing almost flawlessly right now, and of course, when you do that, you know, you're going to put points on the board.
The ball resting now on the 12-yard line. Fortunately, in the past 2 games, the Falcons have been getting down inside the 15-yard line, but the ball's always resting on the 11 or 12-yard line, and they have to go pretty much into the end zone on those 4 plays instead of having the ball close. Mauter's the lone back, Starry in motion, and Fletcher's going to keep this one, but he's not going to keep it for very long. Picked up about 3 on that play.
Yeah, I think they were kind of waiting for that one. I had been thinking about maybe seeing us call that a little bit sooner, but of course they were in probably the right defense there, and they did a nice job of holding Derek to about a 3-yard gain.
This is where the Falcons had trouble last week. They got inside the 10-yard line twice against Mooney, would only come out of it with 3 points. So hopefully the Falcons now can put 6 more on the board. Second down and about 8. Ball resting on the 9-yard line. Story has a jaunt into the corner of the end zone, and that's 6 more for the Falcons.
That was a very strange play there. Not a call, but just the way the defense reacted. It was just a kind of a sweep, and Glenville just never reacted to the outside, and Mike did a heck of a job there. He just took about a 20-yard dash, 15-yard dash right in the end zone.
Luckily, he had that wide side of the field in front of him, and he was able to get into that end zone untouched. You're right, the defense certainly wasn't where they were supposed to be or where they would like to be.
And what happens, too, Kevin, you know as well as I do that, you know, people scout you and you have some tendencies, and we do like to run the ball inside, you know, off tackle. And I think that's probably what they were looking for, and Mike took it outside and probably surprised them a little bit.
Falcons now go up by a score of 12-0, and as you mentioned earlier, they're going to go for the 2-point conversion here to make up for the extra point that was missed. Fletcher's going to pass the ball, and he has in and out of the hands of, I think, tight end Ron Strollo. Yes, it was. 2-point conversion fails, and the score now remains at 10:40 remaining in the second period. The Fitch Falcons 12, the Cleveland Glenville Tarblooders nothing. Well, sure, Ron Strollo's a little upset there. You don't get many passes to the tight end.
No, and it was a pretty well thrown pass. It could have been a little bit higher, but I'm sure, you know, Ron's very capable of normally catching that ball.
Nonetheless, with the way the Falcon offense is executing, I don't think as it stands now that it will play that big of a point in the ballgame. But if I can remember the score, I think the Falcons did miss an extra point last year.
Yeah, I was trying to think too, Kevin, what it was at halftime. Was it 20-0, 21-0, or something like that?
I think it was 20-0. So they're down 1 extra point. So hopefully we're not seeing many similarities here. The only similarity I want to see is the win at the end of the ball game.
Yeah, whether it's by 1 or 21, Kevin, that's what we need right now, a win.
Witcherelli's kick is fielded by number 3, Antonio Banks, and he has a good return for the Tarblooders, bringing it out to the 37-yard line. So far, Tarblooders have had good field position on both of their possessions. This is the second of the evening.
And you can't help but be impressed with that speed again, Kevin. He was going across those white stripes in a hurry, and that scares me, those specialty teams. You know, when you're punting or kicking off to those people because you give them a lot of running room. You know, they're going to be dangerous here too, but at least now they're a little bit more confined here.
So we got first down and 10 for Cleveland Glenville. Ball resting on near the 36-yard line. Reed at quarterback. He's going to drop straight back. He sees number 22 on the hook, and he's going to get the ball, but it's right off his pad. Well, there's an example of catching the ball not with your hands, but with your body, and that's a no-no when you come to receiving.
Right, and he really wanted to run with it a little bit too soon, too. Yeah, that's why they teach you to catch it with your hands, because those shoulder pads are pretty hard and firm. When that ball hits them, it has a tendency to bounce off them rather quickly.
Craig Johnson for the Tarblooders on the other end of that incompletion on the receiving end. Bring up second down and 10. So far in both their possessions, Tarblooders come out and thrown a first down pass. They're going to set up with the I behind Reed. Two wide receivers. He's going to drop straight back again, and he sees 85. And Ron Stroll makes a good defensive play, knocking that ball down.
Yeah, Ron did a nice job there, dropping off into the flat and almost intercepted that ball.
Ron using his 6'4" height there to assist him in that broken up pass. Bring up third down and 10, another passing situation. So we're going to probably see 3 passes in a row. But the way the Tarblooders have been running, they might run now.
And we are seeing, somewhat something unusual. In fact, if you look at their down linemen now, we're starting to see their splits get wider and wider, and we're probably going to see some different formations here before too long, and probably some razzle-dazzle.
You probably see that wide splits in the line from a lot of the smaller teams trying to create natural holes for their running backs to go through. Reed's going to drop straight back. He has number 1, but that was right in the hands of number 22, Rob Tofill, and Rich Turner ran into him, also trying for the ball. But the end result is an incomplete pass and a punting situation for the Tarblooders.
Yeah, we one nice thing had 3 or 4 red shirts around the football there, and almost came up with a big interception.
I thought Rob Tofill was going to have that one, but there was a little crash and the ball hit the ground. Mike Starr is going to receive this punt from Vance Benton. Another short kick. It's only going to land on the 40-yard line and bounce right back to about the 44-yard line. Only gained about 20 yards on that punt. Once again, Glenville not having a very strong kicking game.
Yeah, and in a game like this, and against a team like us, Kevin, this hurts you. Because the kicking game, especially the punting game, can be a defensive weapon. And something we brought up last week. Was it 2 weeks ago when we seen it? I don't think it was last, the quick kick.
Yeah, the quick
over
kick
the years,
in the Menor game
has really been a big asset to our offense. It's gotten us out of a hole and provided us with a little momentum defensively.
Fletcher's going to roll out. He's going to go with the ball himself. Off the block of number 77, Damian Billack. He's going to pick up about 2.
And that looked like a designed run again, because we come out and I don't think Derek even looked for a receiver downfield. He just tucked that ball away and right now took off upfield and looked like a better play than what it was. Looked like he picked up about 4 or 5 yards, but we looked down there and he's only picked up about 1.5 yards.
Definitely a running play. They had it pulling guards in front of him. Wing T. Starry's going to get it on that counter, and he's going to get some room to the outside. One man to beat, and he's out of bounds. That's about the 35-yard line of the Tarblooders. Good pickup on that play. 24 yards on that carry.
And I think we're just a little bit too strong up front, Kevin. We're just totally dominating that line of scrimmage right now, and especially the off-tackle hole and to this side. We're just, whatever we want to do over there right now, we're doing.
Hopefully that trend will continue throughout the season, especially into, as we mentioned earlier, the tougher games as they come up next week and continue on for the next 4 or 5 games. Turner on that counter trap, and he's going to go all the way into the end zone if this number 2 is not going to touch him, and that's it. Turner, 3 touchdowns on that play. Out of the 4 the Falcons have scored this season.
And here's a play that, you only see, usually ran maybe once or twice a ball game, Kevin, but right now we can run that at will. They're not doing a very good job of defensing it, and we're doing an excellent job of executing that play, that counter to Rich Turner.
I think Rich is run that play about maybe 8 times this season, losing yards on only 1 or 2, and the rest have been big plays, and 3 have been for touchdowns. Twice in this ball game they have been for touchdowns, and once in the Cheney game. Falcons are now starting to do what we hoped that they would do, put a lot of points on the board in this game. 18-0 now, 8:28 remaining in the second period. There's only 2 minutes between the Falcons' last score. Starry's going to go for 2, and he's over and in. It brings the score to 20-0. What it was last year at about this point in the ball game.
Instant replay. Even this year, though, Kevin, I think we are even more devastating than we were last year. You know, when we played them. We just right now are just totally controlling the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, and I just don't look for a reoccurrence of what happened last year. Hope not.
Knock on that wood. Butcherelli's going to kick off again, third time in this half. There's about, I think that was about a 35-yard run for Turner, having another one around 40 yards in the first quarter for the Falcons' first 6-point score of the evening.
And this is just what the Falcons needed, you know, the shot in the arm we needed. We just be able to go out and just totally dominate somebody, move the ball, you know, the way we are tonight, to get our confidence back, and as we mentioned earlier, get ready for that, you know, that big surge that we're going to have to make here in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
We get to go to Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, as we've mentioned, where they not only have fans dressed in orange, they have real tigers. Number 5 is going to be dragged down from behind. Number 34 for the Falcons, Greg Delicio, who had a fumble recovery on the kickoff last week for the Falcons, who made a good play on that kickoff, bringing down Andre Hicks.
And Greg impressed me there with his quickness, Kevin. He just pretty quick back there, and he ran him down, caught him almost from behind, and made a nice tackle.
So far in the past 2 games, he's been where the ball's been on that kickoff, providing the coverage that's needed for the Falcons. First down and 10 for the Tar Blooders. Ball is going to rest on their own 26-yard line. Reed at the helm for the Tar Blooders. I formation behind him. It's going to be a quick pass. Number 1 is going to get the reception and struggle to about the 30-yard line, picking up a 5 on that play. Williams, the receiver there.
Well, it was kind of a strange pass. That ball was up there for quite a while in the air, and we see that too often, and I'm sure one of our defensive backs is going to have time to come up and pick one of those off and get an easy score.
Derek Fletcher on the coverage for the Falcons. They picked up a lot more on that play than I thought. Bring up 2nd and 1. Picked up 9 instead of the 5. Ball was longer up in the air than I expected. Handoff's going to be to number 3, Antonio Banks. They're going to move the chains for the Tar Blooders' first down of the evening. Ball now on 33-yard line.
And we're down to 7 minutes left in the second quarter here, the first half, and we've got to put a stop to this, Kevin. That's, you know, they got a first down, and I was kind of thinking to myself here, it'd be nice to see us go through the evening here with maybe limiting them to maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Our defense definitely has been our strong point throughout the first 3 games. So far tonight, they've been doing a good job. That was the first down they yielded so far. Hicks gets the call, but he stopped quickly. The line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard, a yard on that play.
Did you say hits the wall? Well, somebody got a good lick in there, boy. You hear those pads clanging all the way up here, and that's giving me a pretty good feeling.
Number 73, Rich DeChalk, making that initial stop there on Hicks, stopping him cold right about the line of scrimmage. DeChalk, the tackle for the Falcons, number 73, a junior. We're going to have 2 wideouts. Reed is still at quarterback. Long count. He's going to drop straight back. He's looking down for number 85. It's right off his fingertips, right through his hands. Terrence McGee, that's the second drop pass of the evening.
impressed by the quarterback here, Kevin. He's thrown 3 or 4 nice passes there and had a couple of them dropped. That was enough yardage there for a first down, and of course, if he'd have caught the ball, he was still on his feet. Nobody hit him. He could still been running.
Quarterback Reed showing good composure, setting up nicely in the backfield, waiting, looking for the open receiver. Hopefully the Falcons can put a little more pressure on him tonight, giving our defensive secondary the chance to not have to cover the receivers for so long. 3rd down, 9.5. It's going to be a screen. Oh, a nice play by number 28, Scott Lawrence. A combination hit and steal the ball. He almost had the interception there. He read that one perfectly.
Right, and if he didn't get the interception, he was going to get a good piece of the receiver there. Boy, that was awfully close.
Lawrence read that one beautifully and made a nice play. It's going to bring up 4th down and 10 in a 3rd punting situation tonight for the Tarblooders.
And he continues just to float that swing pass or flat pass, Kevin, and somebody's going to get one of those before the night's over.
Number 2, back again to punt for the Tarblooders, Vance Benton. Starry's deep to receive, but not that deep. Only 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring in another football.
Last week we brought in a few of them. Boy, the field was in a nasty condition last week and looks much better this week. I think the footing is much better than what it was last week.
Hasn't been rain in the past 2 days. Definitely helping the field conditions here. Benton's kick is going to be short. Starry's going to field it on his 40. He's going to cut back and miss tackle. And he's going to keep going. He's still on his feet. And he loses the ball. But Fletcher tried to pick it up and advance it. And Rich Turner got in his way. And nonetheless, we gained about 15 on that play after the Starry fumble.
Well, one thing for sure, Kevin, we're not going to see what we've seen last year, because if that was in last year's ball game, that would have been picked up and returned the other way. That's exactly what happened to us last year, almost the same part of the field even.
I'm not sure, but I don't know whether Fletcher or not could have advanced that ball. High school football, I can't remember. There's certain rules whether you can advance a fumble or not.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that.
I'm not sure on the call, but Turner and Fletcher fought for the recovery of that ball. They got it, and the Falcons have 1st down and 10 on the 29-yard line. Flags everywhere.
Oh, I think John Dorenzo fell asleep there, Kevin. Everybody was moving but the football, and John decided he was going to wait a little bit longer that time. Now, we say that about commenting on, the rules change so often, anymore. Going back to the Menor game, we did make a comment about the ball crossing the plane of the goal line, going into the end zone, come back out, but the rule was changed again this year, and that goes back to years ago, the way it was, where they are allowed now to the ball's allowed to cross the plane of the goal line and come back out, and they can down it. Now you have to go back in and recover it, and again, a mistake that we made, that's because we weren't totally aware of some of the changes that took place as far as the rules were concerned.
Just 2 years ago, back in 1985, it was once the ball crossed plane of the goal, it was down right there and a touchback. But as you said, no longer that's true. We have a timeout on the field. I don't remember who called the timeout. I particularly wasn't watching. I think maybe the Tarblooders did, with 5:08 remaining in this first half.
And we are now on about the 25? And 5:08 to go in the first half, so we've got plenty of time to, again, put another score on the board and give us a pretty comfortable lead going in at halftime.
Look ahead to the second half. I think this might give the Falcons their first opportunity of this season to have a good lead in the ball game and get a lot of other people into the ball game, get them some varsity action. With all the 3 close ball games so far, we haven't gotten many people in other than the starters themselves.
Yeah, that's the point you made earlier, Randy, about having one of the toughest schedules in the state. That's probably one of the sad things, is the fact that week in and week out you're playing championship caliber football, and you just don't blow too many of those teams out and give some of these younger kids an opportunity to play and gain some experience.
Turner in motion. Motter's going to get the handoff. He's going to be back to the original line of scrimmage, pick up about 5. 2nd down and 10 now.
Well, what do you think? Should we call the counter again with Turner and just make it easy here, a real quick score? And
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see whether that counter opened up once again. Maybe if we have a third down and long situation, we might see it again.
I'm sure they've tried to make some adjustments, but still, we pound away off tackle, and all of a sudden, boom, we come back with the counter the other way, and pretty tough to stop.
Another penalty, this time I think again against the Falcons, another illegal procedure. That's their third illegal procedure of the evening.
And we're having some problems with the timing for some reason. We were jokingly made that comment about John falling asleep there, but that's 2 or 3 already tonight where we've had people moving too soon or too late, and hopefully we get that ironed out because those penalties there, against good football teams are going to hurt you down the road.
Really, no coach likes to see this, whether the score is 20-0 or tied at 0-0, is to see a team making mistakes. Ball back now on the 34-yard line, 2nd down and 16. Probably see Derek Fletcher put up his second pass of the evening, but not right now. Starry has open field, and if he can turn on the juice, he's close, and his knee went down. Yes, and the referee over here, the line judge, is going to give him the end zone. The ball crossed the plane, and Starry's in for his second touchdown of the evening.
Yeah, and I think a pretty good call by the official because Mike was falling, and I think maybe his knee did touch, but his momentum, in the majority of his body, I would say, ended up in the end zone. So not a bad call there.
Player down on the field for the Tarblooders. Number 22 for them, Craig Johnson, made that tackle there. I think that's number 22. Yeah, like you said, Starry shows his speed here tonight on both of his touchdown runs. 34 yards there. He had a 9-yard touchdown run on the second touchdown of the evening, I think. Yeah, Turner had 1 and 3, and Starry's had 2 and 4 in the touchdown department tonight.
And this is something that we're lacking in the first 3 ball games. We've had 4 or 5 decent sized runs tonight. And this makes it a little bit easier on the offense. As we always say, we bring this up every once in a while. The fact that you start running 13 and 14 plays. That many plays, you often tend to make mistakes when you get that far along in your offense, and it's nice every once in a while, to have a 2 or 3 play drive where somebody breaks one for 40 or 50 yards for a score.
That's been the case here so far. Wilkins in for his second attempt at an extra point tonight. His first one was wide left. This one's going to be up and good. And that brings the score with 4:07 remaining in the first half. Fitch Falcons 27, Cleveland Glenville nothing.
And I think Glenville might be a little bit outmanned, Kevin. We just right now, physically you could just see now they're having a difficult time even getting up off the ground defensively. We're just, and we're only halfway through the football game, I think wearing them down. When we get the old machine going like we got it going now, we start pounding away at you on offense like that, boy. The defense is out there on the field for a lengthy period of time, and it takes its toll.
Certainly it's not that fun for the defense. I mean, definitely it's good to stop the team after only 3-play series, but you never get enough time on the field. It gets to be a little boring there on the sideline.
Yeah.
At least from my standpoint, ball games after a while get to be a tad tedious, shall we say.
Yeah, you're right, Kev, because sometimes you find yourself getting shortchanged as a player because the offense is out there that often, and you're a defensive specialist. You become a spectator, and it's not a whole lot of fun.
Butcherelli's kick is going to be a low-line drive. It's going to be fielded quickly by number 5, Andre Hicks, and he's going to have another good return. That speed of his brings him all the way out to the 38-yard line.
And he does have some quickness. There he's only about a step or 2 away from breaking that one.
Tarblooders definitely haven't had a problem with field position tonight. They've started every drive outside of their own 35-yard line. This one's going to be started at the 36-yard line.
And here comes, well, I guess this is a shotgun. This is one of those different-looking formations, I guess.
Shotgun with the up back to block and one back coming out of the backfield, and that's going to be the man to get the ball. on that reception. Andre Hicks, number 5, is going to pick up a good 7 yards on that, maybe only 6.
Yeah, again, I'm impressed with Carl Reed. He's really got a nice arm, and it's a very accurate arm. He's got a strong one, and fortunately they dropped a couple passes earlier here, or could have been a little bit different ball game, I guess.
Another tar-butter down on that play. Falcons now have a 27-0 very comfortable lead with 3:20 still remaining in this first half of play.
And the thing I think we have to look for now is probably the deep pass. We're down to 3:20 left in the half. They're down by four touchdowns now, and they've got to try and get back in the game as quickly as they can. And I'm sure they're probably thinking that now they can try and sneak somebody behind us there and get a quick score on us. It would at least give them the thought that they might be back in the ball game again.
Player quickly got up to the tar-butters, and he's over to the sideline. Reed with a 2nd down and 5 situation. He's going to drop right back into the shotgun. And as you predicted, John, they're going to go straight to the pass, definitely as the clock winds down in this first half of play. Reed has Hicks again, and he's got the ball in the midst of a lot of Falcon defenders. Fitzpatrick on that stop, Stroll on that drop way downfield, and Derek Fletcher also down on that stop.
Again, a nice pass. He just a real quick release, and the amazing thing is they're running some pretty good routes. They, as I said, talked to one of the coaches, and maybe they were keeping some of these things for us because they were running a lot of one-man patterns and two-man patterns, but tonight they're sending at least 2 and sometimes 3 people out, and of course Carl can throw the ball quite well.
Play was worth 25 yards for the Tar-Butters and their 2nd first down of the evening. Shotgun again for Reed. He's going to get a good rush there. Stroll putting pressure on him, breaks him out of the pocket. He's able to gain about 6. Clock's going to keep running, 2:18 remaining in the half.
You think that was a quarterback draw, Kevin, or was that just he decided that he thought maybe he'd seen some daylight and tucked it away? And
I think Ron Stroll put good pressure on him there. Seeing Ron, the 6'4", 220-pound outside linebacker coming in, definitely might put a little jitters into Carl Reed. And
yeah,
I think
he might
took
want
the
to
ball
run
and
himself.
flew. Shotgun. 3 receivers now on the out. 4 actually with the 1 in the wing position. Only 1 back in the backfield. And he's going to catch that ball and be down there. Good enough for the first down. Clock's going to stop with 1:44 remaining in the first half. Number 1, Williams on the reception.
The thing, you would think about, we always say, you either rush a bunch or keep a bunch back, and think of putting more pressure on. But I tell you, I'm impressed with his quick release. Boy, he just doesn't hesitate. Boy, he's got the ball, and the receiver makes his cut, and the ball's there. Boy, he gets rid of it in a hurry. So pressure probably wouldn't be too effective against him.
Speaking of films and coaches watching, I think Glenville might have looked at the fact that the Falcon defensive secondary uses about a 3-4 yard cushion. And so that quick release, like you said, is an advantage now for Reed and the Tar-Butters, as they are right now on the Falcon 21-yard line, or 26-yard line, their best penetration so far. This time he's going to be down in the backfield. He held the ball for a while, and Eric McMahon makes the sack.
Yeah, we are getting real good pressure. As you pointed out earlier, when Ron Strollo forced Carl to Reed to run with the ball earlier, than 2 or 3 plays ago, this is what happened here. He just really didn't have time to even turn around, and he had people looking right in the face.
Loss of 11 on that play. That's McMahon's 2nd sack of the year. He had a 1 in the Menor game. And now he has another one tonight against the Tar-Butters to bring up 2nd down and 20. Ball resting on the 33-yard line. Only 34 seconds remaining in this half. Well, luckily for that flag, because there was a curtain of red coming for Carl Reed. I think the Falcons may be using some blitzes here, something the Falcons don't normally do on defense.
Yeah, you could do that. I guess sometimes, Kevin, they start running those crazy formations. They start spreading people out all over the field. That doesn't leave too many people in the block. So if you can get people there in a hurry, okay, like like we have the last two plays, you know, you can be, I guess, somewhat successful with some blitzing.
I think what the Falcons have showed me is that their defensive line has speed, good speed, and to put the pressure on. Not all of them have that great size, but a lot of them have the good speed. We have 5 defensive backs now in for the Falcons, 4 down linemen. Reed from the shotgun. A high snap, and here comes the pressure from Strollo and McMahon, and he just unloads that ball. Give that credit to Strollo and McMahon for coming on that squeeze play, putting the outside pressure there. And that'll wind out the second period and end the first half with the Fitch Falcons leading 27-0 going into the first half, and certainly nothing we didn't expect tonight.
Yeah, we're kind of hoping anyways, Kevin, that this is what we'd see, and of course the Falcons haven't let us down. But they did impress us, you know, at the couple of drives that they had last week against Mooney. The only sad thing was, you know, Mooney, you know, that third quarter controlled the football for about 80% of that quarter, and then of course the fourth quarter down by 27 points here at the beginning of the second half. They've got to get some points on the board in a hurry.
Carl Reed at the quarterback, number 12 for the Tarblooders. And he's going to hand off to Hicks, number 5. And he's going to be smothered, nowhere to go. And all he saw was the grass beneath him. Coming up was number 84, Eric McMahon, on that stop. And number 25, I think, nose tackle Bill Davis.
We've been very strong up front, both offensively and defensively. You know, they haven't done much on the ground offensively. What they have gained has been through the airwaves, and of course offensively, you know, we've just been able to do just about anything we wanted to.
Second down 9. I formation behind Reed. He's going to do that another swing pass, and number 1 gets the reception again. This is the second reception. That's Victor Williams. Game good for close to the first down.
That, again, is very deceiving, Kevin. You know, I felt the same way you did last time they threw that same pass. It looked like it was just maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain, but here we look out and he picked up about 8 and 9 yards.
Third and short for the Tarblooders. Successful twice on that swing pass, or whatever you want to call it. But I think one of the Falcons definitely is looking to intercept that one. We have illegal motion. Tackle on the Tarblooders, pointing at the Falcons defensive line, but they're allowed to move as long as they don't go into the neutral zone.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit of an early start there.
They're going to send out, I think the Falcons are going to send out maybe an extra defensive back. They're doing a lot of defensive changes out there. Out goes number 78 for the Falcons, Dave Cooper, and in came number 74, Dave Moore, senior defensive tackle. So we're going to see a lot of what we already anticipated, a lot of switches out there in this ball game, and a lot more people out of the playing field. It's going to be against the Tarblooders. Take away a third and short and bring up a 3rd and 6.
Kind of a break for us, because you know we don't want to right now. This is when the game gets anything going, because if we could shut it down now, this will take whatever enthusiasm they had left in them out of them maybe, and make it a little bit easier on us here in the second half.
Well, we're going to see the shotgun right now, first time this half, like extensively in the first half. He has time, and it's going to be right into the hands and out of the hands of number 80, Don Hauser, who had that reception. That seemed the only receiver in the area. Got to bring up 4th down, and there goes another Tarblooders drive, stopped after only 3 plays.
And again, the defensive people, you know, aren't getting much playing time tonight, and maybe that's good. Last week they probably wanted last week, so I guess it's just compensating for it tonight.
They've really done their job and done it very much in the past 3 ball games. Definitely all were defensive struggles. Sorry, actually sees a punt from Penn. Another low snap. Low kick. Almost hit number 36, Joe Zolak. Number 8, Pucciarelli, finally standing on the ball. Number 9, Jeff Fletcher makes the play. And by covering it after it hit Zolak.
And those are dangerous sometimes because you've got your people setting up the wall, and a lot of times, they aren't actually watching the football, and especially on the kick, they're set low, someone can get hit with it, and of course, the opposition come up with the football.
Those low punts, they probably need someone out there yelling to the Falcons incoming so all of them can dive to the ground. We have the wing tee with Fletcher at the helm, and Motter has some open territory. Little conservative ball running, ball carrying, but he gets 11 on that play.
Yeah, we just, I don't know what they're doing here. I haven't really paid attention defensively, but I know this right side of their defensive line and our left side just, we've just dominated people over here.
Offensive line for the Falcons, we have center John Dorenzo, Fitzpatrick and Black at the guard, tackles Bart By and Billack, and finally to tight end number 86 Ron Stroll. That offensive line's been doing a good job tonight. We have an unbalanced line to the wide side of the field, both wing back and split end there, and Starry has what that hoped it would, a nice large hold, pick up about 7. Unfortunately, didn't see the outside. I think he had good break to the outside.
All right, Kevin, I think he did a little juke inside and went back outside there. I think, he would have picked up a lot more yardage, but Mike, as we pointed out, I think last week, it loves to come back against the grain, and there, he may have been better going to the outside there.
Second down 3, ball now on the 46-yard line of the Tar Blooders. Falcons mounting another long offensive drive. Starry on the same play. This time he takes the outside, and I think he's going to take it all the way in. Number 1 may make the stop. That's at the 5-yard line. Even closer than that, down to about the 3-yard line. Starry 3 yards away from another long touchdown run. But he got about 43 yards on that play. Now down deep in territory, scoring position.
Yeah, and they probably, we did hurt them so much in the off-tackle hold in the first half, Kevin. I think they've come out and tried to make some adjustments to try and take that away from us, and boy, we're just getting the corner like it wasn't even there. I mean, it's just a straight sprint to the goal line. There's nobody coming across, things up inside or what have you.
Sorry, easily surpassing the 100-yard mark with that one. If not, he had in the first half. No statistics, but we're only guessing. I'm sure he has 100 yards by now. Turner in motion, and Motter's going to plow through into the end zone. Touchdown. Keith Motter's first touchdown of the evening and first touchdown of the year. Good for another 6 points. That will take the Falcons over the 30-point mark to 33 right now. 7:49 remaining in the third period.
And, kind of getting out of hand now, Kevin.
Not really much you can analyze or say at this point, except that the Falcons are doing a good job. They're executing well, and they're playing well.
And, if we scored that many in the first half, we've pointed out, in past years how well the coaching staff does at halftime as far as making adjustments. And already we've seen us just run, 3 plays and move about 50 yards real quickly.
Wilkins' kick is up and good. Brings the score to 34-0. Wilkins' second PAT of the evening after missing his first.
Yeah, we're, needless to say, a pretty good second-half football team, Kevin. We've come out, we've had some mediocre first quarters in a lot of our football games and come out in the second half and look like a completely different football team. And I've often given credit to the coaching staff because we have seen them do some things differently, both offensively and defensively, that have helped us. And this is a tribute to them. And I think tonight, probably right off the bat, we've seen this happen again.
Well, it looks like the kickoff team has had just about as much playing time as the defensive squad tonight. They've been out on the field repeatedly after several Falcon touchdowns. What does that give us? That gives us, 5 touchdowns on the evening?
Yeah, that's the most we've seen. Wow, we've only scored 10 points up to this ball game, Kevin, and this is really a good sign, to see the old offense really getting into gear.
Which really a low line drive kick. Is going to grab it again, and he slides down. Number 11 on the coverage, Tato Pallet for the Falcons, stopping the Tar Blooders on the 30-yard line.
And I know we're going to have to make some changes there. Larry's going to have to, I know he's getting a pretty good foot into it, but he's going to have to get a little more altitude or height on the ball because we're not getting time to get down there and cover the kickoff returns. And again, we're going to be giving too many teams like Hamlet, Aspen, and Urson and Boardman too good a field position, and we can't afford to do that.
Shotgun position for Carl Reed, quarterback for the Tarbletters. And he's going to be close to being smothered. He leaves the ball. It hits the ground. On Shula right on his tail. No, it's still Carl Reed still in that quarterback 12. He's still in at quarterback. And now with an incomplete pass and brings up second down and 10. Going to go from the shotgun again. All the receivers up for the Tarbletters. Rich Turner, he's called for trapping that one by the officials. He made a defensive play and almost had his his third interception of the season, but it's not to be. Brings up third down and 10.
Yeah, that's probably the worst pass he's thrown all night, Kevin. We had a defender in between two receivers, and he was right on the money, but it was to our defensive back.
Now Carl Reed comes to the sideline. Maybe he's seeing a quick kick here. Number 10, Dartian Kreider.
Just call him Dart.
And the Tarbletters are offside, not giving D'Artagnan Kreider a chance to throw that ball.
And there's, again, a good example of what we talked about, too, previously, the fact that when you change, quarterbacks especially, sometimes the cadence is a little bit different, and he looked a little bit disorganized. And I'm surprised at this move because, Carter's been throwing the ball quite well, but again, maybe they're trying to give somebody, an underclassman, a younger kid, an opportunity to play a little bit more since the game is a little bit out of hand right now.
D'Artagnan Kreider, the quarterback in there now, is a sophomore, so like you said, they're probably giving him some game experience tonight. They score nothing advantage by the Fitch Falcons. There's not much else you can do. He's deep back in the shotgun position, a good 10 yards behind center, almost 11. A lot deeper than Reed was standing. Pressure comes, and it's right off the hand of Hicks. Incomplete, fourth down.
And something I think that has hurt them a little bit, too, there is the fact that a lot of those snaps have been floating back there, Kevin. We're just giving us an extra second or two to tee off on the quarterback. They're not getting that little short snap back in that shotgun formation back there quick enough.
I know our defensive linemen are probably looking to eat a quarterback for lunch here tonight, or dinner, or whatever you want to call it. But Eric McMahon has the only sack tonight for the Falcons. Had a 15-yard sack in the second quarter. The punt by Benton is going to be a low, not even spiral. Odd for travel, but it's start to roll. It's going to land down on the Falcons' 43-yard line after the Falcons start. Second possession of the second half after scoring on the first one.
Yeah, I guess you have to sympathize a little bit with the good quarterback, the Cleveland team, because it's an obvious passing situation now, and our down linemen, our front people are just teeing off, and they're not even respecting run, and really he's not getting ample time to throw the ball. Although again, there was a situation there where they had a receiver wide open, and the ball was on target, and he dropped it.
Well, in at quarterback now is number 17, Doug Wilhelm, and Motter gets the handoff. It's going to be a flag in the play. Maybe that was a legal procedure on the Falcons. Doug Wilhelm in at quarterback after starting the first two games for the Falcons.
And again, we see a change in the quarterback, and again a motion penalty here. The timing just isn't quite right, I guess, and a lot of cases it's simply because, change in personnel, as we've seen here for both teams here in the second half.
It's going to take that ball back 5 yards, and hopefully they'll be able to keep track of all the people going in and out tonight for the Falcons, trying to keep on top of that. And here comes the whole onslaught of them. Number 44, Nemstick, comes in. Number 52, Jamie Fitzpatrick. I think that's Jamie Fitzpatrick, Devon's younger brother. I'll have to check on that. Going to be in at guard. Dolak's in at the wingback, and there's a drop of the ball there, and it's slipped by the ball carrier for the Falcons, Motter.
And our numbers, Kevin, aren't the easiest ones in the world to decipher either. You have a heck of a time trying to pick some of these kids out, but we'll do our best and try and, mention their names here so we know who's in the ball game now.
I think in came number 10, Jeff Scott. Now where is
You're right. He's
number 10,
wide
Jeff
out.
Scott, here at the split end position, this side of the field. Handoff's going to be to Nemsick. And he's going to get about 4 on that play.
Gary Nemsick taking a handoff from Doug Wilhelm.
Joel Dulac at the wingback position, another person in for the Falcons. In comes number 89, I think, for the Falcons. He's going to be Brian Beanie, Jr. He's going to come at the split end position. Dulac in motion. It's going to be the counter to Dulac, and good golly, he has some room.
Boy, I tell you what, it's like, there's 11 people on the other side of the field. We run that play. It's just amazing, how wide open it is.
He's going to get the first down and save that drive for the Falcons, giving people a greater chance to get in here from the offense. Out comes Devin Fitzpatrick at the guard, playing both guard and linebacker tonight as he's done in the previous 3 games. In comes number 33 now for the Falcons from the sideline, Rich Onfrio. Is going to be a running back. Number 77 down there, Damian Billock, still in there at his tackle position. 61 also in for the Falcons, Joe Supko, a guard. So we're seeing lots of people getting lots of action now. Trying to keep on top of them here.
Yeah, we've had wholesale changes, and as we mentioned earlier, we'll try and keep up with them if we can, and just mention the names of the people that are being shuttled in and out of there.
In comes 71, Joe Potkanicki. He'll be playing tackle for the Falcons. 10, Jeff Scott. He's going to bring in the play. Doug Wilhelm now a quarterback. A lot of juniors and sophomores in there for the Falcons. Handoff's going to be to Nemsick, and he's going to be stopped in the backfield. 79 in there right now. John Polish still in his tackle position.
A little change in personnel, a little change in execution. Dude, Kevin, we've been owning that side of the line the first half and part of this third quarter. Now all of a sudden things have changed a little bit.
At the center, if I can see, number 70, Buddy Schaefer is at the center with Wilhelm behind him. And that's number 33. Called his number 4, Rich Dionfrio at the fullback, and he gets a good gain, another first down for the Falcons.
And that play was
in comes number
well.
25 on offense, Bill Davis, our defensive nose tackle, and he's going to be listed here as a running back. So we might be able to see our nose tackle carrying the ball here tonight. Bill Davis probably going to get tailback or the fullback.
That's something unusual because I don't think I've ever seen Bob Gulick run it for the Browns. Have you, Kev?
No, but Bill Davis is at the wingback position, and he's going to come down on a gap block, and Nemsick's going to follow him through the line.
And now they're starting to get things fair. Yeah, that's probably the first time a lot of these guys have ever been out on the football field during a varsity game, and they still have the butterflies that they had to get rid of like anybody else, and now they're starting to play a little bit better football.
You know that the eye of the sky, the films are watching you, and anything you do will be shown tomorrow.
And they don't lie.
No, and they're a harsh teller of the truth. 33, Dionfrio, is going to get that call, and he's going to pick up about 4. Bring up third down. D'Onofrio is the name, pronunciation of the name.
And I think we've got everybody covered. I think the same people are in there, Randy, that you mentioned, and hopefully now all the parents can sit back and relax and watch their sons play.
Third down, 6. D'Onofrio and Nemsic behind him, and Nemsic gets the call, and he's going to get the first down, and maybe more. A nice into the end zone. I'll have to give that touchdown to Gary Nemsic stiff arm at the end, but I think it might be nullified. There's a flag on the play.
Ballet move there, Kevin. Boy, he just bounced right off the old helmet. Pirouette there, and boom, he was in the end zone.
Unfortunately, after that good play of getting into the end zone and a good attempt on his part, nullified by a penalty.
What do we have there? Was that hitting below the waist or a
I'm
crack
not
back?
sure. I didn't remember. Get a holding.
No, holding.
Holding on the Falcons. With new people, you're going to have probably a lot more penalties than we saw one right there. Holding. One of the new linemen in there doing what they weren't supposed to be, or getting caught doing what they weren't supposed to be doing.
Everybody wants a grade out high, and sometimes you'll do anything to execute a block.
Speaking of films, on the films, when you hold and don't get caught, it's a good play. When you get caught, it's not.
Look out.
And it's going to be stopped in the backfield here. Bring up 4th down and 5 for the Falcons. Probably go for it here. No need to punt in this situation.
Yeah, we're in 4-down territory. Let's see if we can figure it out. What, 20-yard line?
Yep, I think we're on about... Now there's not even a 20-yard marker over on that side. I think we're on a 25-yard line. It's hard to tell. As I said earlier, number 52 is in there, Jamie Fitzpatrick, sophomore, and also the brother of two-way starter Devin Fitzpatrick. He's seeing some playing time at the guard position. His brother's position at that. Nemsic spins out of that one, but he's coming back to the original line of scrimmage, and in comes the defense. And here we go again. Will probably be an onslaught of different Falcon defenders.
And we'll try and pick him up.
And I see coming in number 32, Chuck Weston coming in there. Probably defense number 34 also in there, Greg Delisio, who has made some good plays on the kickoff team.
Rob Tofield.
In comes number 73, Rich DeChalk, who's normally in there, still playing for the Falcons.
And 45, Todd Cannon, I believe, is probably going to be in the secondary now.
Falcons are going to call a timeout. A lot of switches, and they're not ready for this play. Give us a chance to dig in there.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to. It's not a makeshift team, Kevin, but again, they're trying to get as many people in as they can, and sometimes these people all don't work as a unit during the week, so sometimes they might miss a position or two, so we do have these problems.
Out comes number 66, Dan Black, starting tackle offense for, maybe that's Ron Polo coming out. It's hard to tell, the 8 or the 6. I think it's Dan Black. He was in there at nose tackle. Position he doesn't play on defense. He's an offensive starter. Oh my. If I'm correct, 29, Jeff Powers enters the ball game at inside linebacker. He's going to be calling the plays out there for the Falcon defense.
Now let's don't get carried away now. Let's don't be every other tackle. Jeff Powers.
Well, he's in the ball game.
But knowing Jeff, he'll probably be in on every one of them, Kevin, because he's a fine athlete and, again, a very aggressive kid, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him in on every tackle.
Trying to get some of the other Falcons in there right now. It's hard to tell. Defensive coordinator Jack Henny in there in the huddle, trying to organize the defense. A lot of different people in there.
Yeah, we can get some of the down linemen. I think we've covered most of the secondary and some of the linebackers, so...
74, Dave Swarm at the defensive tackle. New face out there. Excuse me if I watch my brother on this play.
I'll take care of the rest of them. Yeah.
He stepped up there, took the block, but yay. Okay, there was about 2 yards on that gain. Number 57, Dave Swarm on the stop, number 74, and also number 57, Frank Rich, the nose tackle in on that stop. Second down and 8. seconds remaining in the third period.
And we got a ways to go.
We got another 12 minutes in the fourth period to go. Let's see, number 87, I think, is that outside linebacker on this side, Matt Starry. Mike Starry's younger brother. The handoff's gonna be pitched to the option. Number 29, Jeff Powers on the initial hit there, picking up that play. Number 61 also went on to stop Joe Supko.
And we're going to see a lot of aggressive, enthusiastic young men out there because they do not get to play that often. And, of course, this is good for the morale of the team, too, Kevin, because, again, when these kids go out next week and in future weeks, you know, to help prepare, you know, the kids that are doing most of the playing, the first team and the second team, of course, they'll do it a little bit more enthusiastically, you know, being the fact that they did get some playing time and they're going to get an opportunity to play on TV and have everybody see them.
Well, that'll end the third quarter. Falcons still ahead 34-0. Third down and 8 the Tar Blooders will face. Ball on their own 22 when play resumes in the fourth period. Since we haven't really had a chance in most of these games, I want to make sure that our viewers out there know who's guiding the Falcons this year and who's behind them. Definitely head coach still in his 8th year now, 6th year at head coach for the Falcons, Dave Hartman, who coming into this season had a 33-10 record with 3 SBC championships, one in 1982, another 1983 SBC championship that was a co-championship with Ursuline, and 1986 last year with that state playoff team. He also had the Steel Valley Championship. Dave Hartman, as head coach, also has the offensive backs and the inside linebackers the coach. We'll get to the rest of the coaches after this play. Third down and about 8. A lot of Falcon players and their new faces on the ball field. It's going to be a pitch to number 2, Vance Benton.
And of course, you've got the first group over there and probably the second group rooting for the defense and the offense because, again, Kev, you know, one of the goals is a shutout. And, of course, they work so hard to, you know, shut down this Glenville team in the first 3 quarters of this football game. They don't want to see the younger people, you know, let them break one for a score.
Matt Starry was on that last stop. Falcons are going to send number 32, Chuck Weston, and not sure, I can't get the number 10, Jeff Scott, I think, is going to be back to receive. And Weston's going to take it and be able to return this one.
There is a wall.
He has the wall. A good job by the punting team. And I think Weston's going to go in for the score. Yes, indeed he is. That's a good 55-yard touchdown return of a punt for number 32, Chuck Weston, a sophomore. I also saw Jeff Powers out there making a good block on that wall.
Yeah, they had a wall set up, and what a way to start your high school career, I guess. I'm pretty sure that's probably the first time Chuck's handled a football.
And he has 55 yards and a touchdown, another 6 points for the Falcons, bring the score to 40-0 with still 11:05 remaining in this ball game.
And of course, you know, this isn't a case where, you know, we're trying to run the score up because we have a lot of different faces in there, and I noticed that Glenville has made a lot of changes, so yeah, I'm sure the coach from Cleveland Glenville knows that we're not trying to rub it in.
Flags on that play. We'll wait for the call from the officials. Offsides against Glenville. I think we'll probably just let Wilkins make another attempt this time from about a yard closer. Jeff Scott will be holding for Wilkins' PAT attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. That'll bring the score to 41-0 for the Falcons. And out again will come the kicking team.
I don't recall the last time we put this many points on the board, Kevin. This is 31, I think, is the most I can recall in the last few years anyways. And again, you know, we've mentioned this several times in the first half. This is exactly what we needed, you know, the shot in the arm we needed because, you know, I think our egos were a little bit deflated. We were down a little bit because we just weren't able to put points on the board in those first 3 ball games. And now going in again to the meat of the schedule, I think mentally, you know, we're going to be a little bit more prepared for those people.
Agreed with you that I don't recall this many points being put on the board in the last couple, at least the last 5 years. Last year their highest was 28 points on the board. The year before that, I think that's my senior year. What did we put on? I think we had our highest game was maybe 35. And still before that, I can't think of anything. So we're just trying to grab trivial knowledge out of the air here. And Butcherelli's going to kick. Nice high kick this time. Going to bounce back towards mid-center of the field. And Scott and number 88 on the have him, but then a host of Falcons swarm around. I think that's the second team kickoff team out there too. Backup kickoff team.
And we had number 7 Albert Connors out there and Kirk Bagot.
A lot of new names out there. Albert Connors, like my brother, members of the baseball team, are they not?
Right.
Also as well. I know a lot of the sophomores. In fact, I know more of the sophomores than I do any of the juniors. Not for any particular reason other than my brother knows more of them, and they're always hanging around the house, loitering.
Probably eating all your food too, right, Kel?
First down and 10, ball on the 26-yard line. Ball's loose. Sure, a lot of people who were expecting to go out on offense were disappointed with that.
Right.
Punt return.
Right.
A lot of people thought they were going to get some playing time out there. 72 is also out there. Trent Mascola is out there.
Yeah, right now that's what I'm hoping for. You know, the defense here to stick it to them for 3 plays and force them to punt and get to see some of these other kids again, you know, perform on the offensive unit.
Number 58, Rich Costello's out there at outside linebacker. We have, let's see, 4 down linemen.
I think the short one was down lineman, Kevin. They're having the same problem that we mentioned here a while ago. We had to call timeout trying to get, you know, everybody in the football game, and sometimes, you know, you forget about a position or two, and you end up in a situation like they're in now. They only had 10 men on the field, I believe.
Number 99, Jeff Willish, also out there at defensive tackle, opposite of Trent Mascola on the other end. Speaking of Coach Jack Kenny coming out, we're going back to the list of coaches, the men behind the Falcons, organizing the Falcons. And that brings up Jack Kenny after going over Dave Hartman, who covers the offensive backs and inside linebackers. Jack Kenny is the defensive coordinator for the Falcons. This is his 6th year at Fitch. And he also coaches the offensive tackles and outside linebackers. And he was also, when I was an outside linebacker, my mentor at outside linebacking position. Paul Castano is in his 2nd year for the Falcons. On offense, he has guards and centers, and he also has the defensive tackles on defense. And he also organizes those special teams for the Falcons, who so far this year have done a good job with a good special teams play. Back to the action on the field. 2nd down and 11. Reed back in at quarterback for the Tar Blooders. Good pressure and a nice catch by number one there, Victor Williams. Close coverage, tight coverage.
Yeah, it was excellent defensive play, Kevin, with the exception of the fact that the defensive back just didn't react to the football. He had him covered like a blanket, but the receiver beat him to the football. He went up after the ball, whereas our defensive back just kind of sat there flat-footed and didn't react quick enough.
Jeff Scott, Powers, and number 61, Joe Supko, all in on that stop after that good reception. Tar Blooders are now in the Falcon territory. Ball on the 46-yard line for the Falcons. Reed with an IB formation behind them. Going to drop straight back, another pass, and he has number 30 open. Number 10, Jeff Scott, again on the coverage and the stop for the Falcons, but another 1st down for the Tar Blooders. Now our defensive secondary is going to have to solidify a bit now.
And we give him that kind of time, and, you know, with his arm, he's going to complete some passes. He's still throwing the ball quite well, especially when we give him that kind of time.
9:02 remaining in this ball game. Falcons ahead 41-0. On the Falcons' 33-yard line. First down and 10 for the Tar Blooders. The pitch is to number 9. Does a little juke move, but he is stopped quickly. Number 61, Joe Supko, in on that stop. And I'll have to say, good stop by my brother, number 29, Jeff Powers.
And Anthony was airborne there for a while, I think. Kevin, he got up, just kind of glided through there, and all of a sudden, though, I think he ran into about 3 of our defenders, and they brought him down to earth in a hurry.
Great. Now I'll have to hear about the great stop he made.
Yeah.
All week long, that's all I'll hear. Did you see that stop? Well, here we go. Second down, 10. I formation behind Reed. It's going to drop straight back. It's going to be a timing pattern, and the ball is caught. That's the best executed play the Tar Blooders have had all night. Number 10, Jeff Scott on the coverage.
Unfortunately for them, just out of bounds. That's their, I thought for a while it was completed because the field is crowned over that way, and that sideline goes a little bit farther over than we sometimes can see. And again, a well-thrown pass.
Excellent timing pattern. Well executed. But it'll bring up third down and 10. I think the Falcons are putting in a 5th defensive back for this play.
Yeah, we're an obvious passing situation, and of course, being down 41-0, you would expect Glenville to put the ball in the air.
Number 35, Jason Costa, in there at the strong safety position. Going to drop straight back again, and he has number 1 open again, Williams. Chuck Weston in on the coverage, but they pick up the first down.
Again, very impressive pass there, Kevin, because he was on the other hash mark and threw the ball the width of the field, about 20 yards downfield, and threw it right on the money.
Hopefully our Falcon defense can stiffen up here and keep and preserve this 41-0 lead and keep a shutout on that board. Like you said earlier, definitely I know the team is rooting for a shutout. One of their goals. Hotnicki Mascoa, and on the other side, number 62, Rich Basil, are the down linemen, the front 3 for the Falcons. Scott's going to drop back once again. He's looking, and it's going to be picked up. Oh! Touchdown! Jeff Austin, the fingertips of Chuck Weston, and he saw the end zone again.
He had 6 the other way, Kevin.
Oh, that's a tough break for this Falcon defense, this young Falcon defense out here, all the new faces. Right off the fingertips, that's a tough one.
Took his eye off at the last second. He just thought he had it zeroed in and started looking at that old goal line, and the ball bounced right off his fingertips into the receiver's hands, and they got a touchdown out of it.
Well, with Chuck's speed, I definitely thought that would be turned into 6, but 6 the other way. Tar Blooders' first score of the evening with 7:17 remaining in the ball game. Going to kick for the Tar Blooders is Darkadian Kreider. We saw him at quarterback for a while in the third quarter, and it's up and through the uprights and good. So that gives Tar Blooders 7, score 41-7 in favor of the Falcons.
And you look back, not a well-executed defensive play, but again, you got to catch the football. You know, he was in excellent position. He read the receiver well, came up and played the ball well, but just forgot to catch it, Jeff. Again, you know, got a little bit excited that, you know, I think myself and you probably have done that in our own careers, I guess, one time or another, you know, where you had the same situation and just got a little bit too anxious.
Yep. You're always thinking ahead.
Right.
And you hate to look back on it. You see the films and you keep saying to yourself, if only.
Because you always dream of those situations, you know. You're just out in the flat, and boy, you pick one off and go almost the length of the field. I mean, that's a dream come true.
Setting up a new kickoff return. Let's get his deep 31s back there. I have no 31. He must be within the list of sophomores, so unfortunately I don't know who 31 is. Chuck Wesson's back there, and number 88 I think is back there. We don't have 88 pegged either. So unfortunately I hope I'm not omitting any of the sophomores that don't have their numbers yet on this roster. And 31 does collar the ball for the Falcons, gets about a yard on the return. And Ken Carano in PA announcer gives me that one. That's Mike Sockel, number 31, a sophomore, taking that kickoff.
He must be a relative of Mr. Carano. Of course, he probably has that roster that we don't have up here now, Kevin. He's got a few names on the one he has that we don't, and I think everybody should be able to hear the PA system if we fail to mention somebody that we don't have a name for up there.
Number 82 is out wide, Kirk Pagoda. Handoff's going to be the Nemsic, and he's going to stumble for about 1. The referee downfield saw number 82 being a little over anxious. I saw that one. I was going to laugh and make a comment about it, but I think the ref saw it too. Well, there you have it. Kirk Pagoda making a good downfield block. Unfortunately, the play was over for about 5 or 10 seconds.
But again, it's a case of somebody trying to impress the coaches and, of course, maybe being on the old tube.
They're going to mark this one. Oh, we're all... Oh, it's against the Tarbledders. I think we got an unnecessary roughness, maybe. Yep, against the Tarbledders. And so maybe he wasn't being so anxious. Maybe he was, and the referee saw the second half of what I saw.
They've seen something else, obviously. Huh.
Well, I apologize for Kirk Pagoda, yes.
That's another adjustment, I guess, you can make as a coach. You're having trouble stopping and put a couple more bodies out there.
Ron Barbone in motion, the wingback now for the Falcons. And I think that D'Onofrio is going to be on that carry, the fullback in for the Falcons. Number 7 comes in the ballgame, Albert Connorith. He's listed as a quarterback, and I think that's what he is, playing quarterback. Yep, Albert Connorith, a sophomore, now at the quarterback position for the Falcons. Nemsic has an opening, and he makes a nice spin, and he's going to get himself a good 15 yards on that play.
And again, everybody on offense is happy because they got a first down, and we got at least 4 more tries anyways to try and impress some of the coaches.
John Mahokovich in there also now for the Falcons, a junior. Number 24. First down, ball in 38. Number 11, Joe Palak in there blocking for the Falcons. Chuck Wesson, the ball carrier, number 32. We're getting everyone in here now. 62 comes in the ball game. Rich Basile is going to be at the guard position. Second down and 7. 5:12 remaining in this ball game. Connor's going to keep this one. But Tarbleddor defense is going to keep him. He's going to lose about 4 on that play.
Yeah, the timing wasn't real good there, and of course that gave the defense time to react and recover. I think Albert bumped into either the fullback or the tailback there and kind of threw things off a little bit.
I'll have to give credit to the Falcon fans out here tonight. A lot of them still staying. A lot of the parents and maybe some other people wanting to watch, no matter which Falcons are out there. First teamer now are newer and younger people. Definitely a good mark for the Falcon fans, showing good, strong support for this Falcon ball club.
And I think we have a new quarterback. I guess that's Wilkins, number 14.
Maybe. No, Connors comes back out. Maybe Wilkins was in on that play. He is a quarterback. They have him listed as a quarterback, so it definitely could have been in there. Opalak at the fullback position. Wesson in tailback. Number 24 in motion, John Mahikovich or Mahokovich. And I'm going to struggle on some of these pronunciations. Flags everywhere.
everywhere.
I think maybe we got a little scuffle. That's not a good way to get in through the spotlight.
No, that's called doghouse, Kevin. When you get those kinds of penalties, because again, even though the game is out of control now, you know, coaches can always picture those happening in a close ball game and costing you, some yardage in a key situation in maybe a football game. So that's kind of a no-no.
John Corcoran, number 6, came in for the guards, gaming as for a guard during that break there. Starting to slip here. It's been a long game. Voice is starting to go on me. It's not used to, especially after Mooney's game last week. It went so fast. Wilkins at the quarterback position. He's going to roll out. He's going to hit Chuck Wesson, and Chuck Wesson's going to break a few and gain a few on a 4th down. Pick up about 15 or 16 on that play. Still about 15 yards shy of the 1st down, but in comes the defense, and they're going to get some more playing time tonight. Now seems to be a nice even spread between offense and defense, and everyone's getting a good chance out there.
And again, you know, Coach Hartman isn't trying to, run up the score or rub it in, because what you try to do when you get in a situation like this, a quarterback, you'd like to see, throw the ball every once in a while so that, he does get the feel of that situation and get some experience doing it, so that, if he is called on later on this season in a crucial situation, he knows what it's like.
There's a flag on that play or something, and defense went off the field. 1st down, so it must have been a personal foul or some after the play infraction that gave the Falcons an automatic 1st down, and that's a roughing the passer. So that gives the Falcons an automatic 1st down. Ball on the Glenville 56-yard line. I made the same mistake as the PA now. Of course, I was listening to him. Going to be about 1 on that play. See who emerges on that carry. It was number 11, Toto Palick, on that carry. Back to our coaches. We left off with Paul Castano in his 2nd year. And we have Bart Dockery back as the Falcon coach. He returns after a 2-year absence. He'll be this year head of the quarterbacks on offense and the defensive backs on defense. He's in charge of them. Wesson is going to have some outside running room, and he's going to be brought down. I thought I saw a little face masking there, but none of the refs agreed with me. But it's good enough for a 1st down. Also on this coaching staff this year, we have Jeff Zatchok in his 4th year. He's the head JV and sophomore coach, and assisting him with the sophomores in the JV is Mike Audie, also in his 4th year at the Falcons. 2 new Falcon coaches this year are Wally Ford in his 1st year, former Falcon player. He coaches the wingbacks and tight ends and also assists with the OLBs on defense. Flag on that play, and also our other 1st-year coach is Mike Duramo. He's the assistant tight end and wingback with coach, helping Wally Ford. He's also with the defensive back with Bart Dockery. Flag on that play. 2:26 remaining in the ball game. Ball on the Tarblooders' 30-yard line. Falcons are going to go back 5 yards. A lot of penalties here with our new people in.
I'm starting to feel old again, Kevin. Bart Dockery was on the first football team that I was a member of the coaching staff on back in 1970. But Bart's been in and out of here several times. Bart's, I think, was he on the staff when you were playing? I don't know.
No, he was on the staff. I think his last year in the staff was 84, and he was not there in 85, my senior year, and again last year in 86, and he came back this year for the 87 ball club. I think he was there 3 or 4 years previous to 1985.
And like your family, they had, 3 brothers. Tom, Mike, and Bart were all fine football players.
The last of my brothers out there tonight, Jeff Powers, not right now with the offense. Maybe we'll see him at wingback.
That would be nice. Because that was the position he played offensively?
He plays offensively wingback.
And this seems to be a long timeout. Of course, we're down to about 2:26 left in the game, and of dragged out a little bit because of some penalties and what have you.
Albert Connorth at the helm for the Falcons, number 88 out wide. Don't have him on the roster, but he's a split end. And Weston breaks a few tackles, showing some good aggressive running there. He's going to pick up 10 on that play.
Yeah, again, he's going to be a big asset, I think, in future years as far as our offense is concerned, Kevin. Chuck, I watched him out here, I think it was last Saturday morning performing. Boy, I tell you, he's got some quick feet, and a lot of moves, and great balance, and he's going to provide some exciting moments, I think, for the Falcon fans in the next couple of years.
Speaking of the sophomore team, they've had good success, and Chris King, I think, number 75, a big guy for the Falcons, weighing over 300 pounds, and somebody came across the line and was not playing what you would call good sportsman-like football.
Yeah, he got in a pretty good lick there. If you're going to get one in, I guess that's the time to do it there. They just probably think, well, I just jumped offside anyway.
I probably shouldn't mention this, but we have our band yelling, "Fight, fight, fight," from the south end zone. I don't think it's the proper thing to mention on the air, but I just thought it was humorous myself.
Mr. King looked like he got hit with a 12-gauge shotgun there, boy. He was back on his heels in a hurry. And, well, we'll have to watch that little confrontation there now and see what happens here in the next couple of plays.
He's listed Chris King at 325 pounds.
It's just hard to believe that there's a guy over there that big that could knock him down like he did. But, of course, when you're just sitting there and somebody just tees off on you like that, that's not that hard to do, I guess.
He'll probably be out for blood on this play. That he is. I really didn't see the play. I was more involved with Chris King. And we got altercations going on between Mr. King and he's going to get fouled with the penalty. I have to laugh. This is a circus now.
Yep, and as we pointed out, you know, coaches don't like to see that. They like to see some aggressive play, but when you get over-aggressive.
Well, Chris King retaliated there, and just like in all good wars, it all ends up with nobody being the winner, the Falcons losing 15 yards on that play. I shouldn't be considering this funny because it isn't good football play, but hey, we've been doing this for a good 3 hours now, and anything probably is funny.
But we will keep our eye on that little confrontation.
Oh, when Chris King exploded off that line, his forearm went right into the chin of the player on the previous play and shoved him. Oh, and we have Wilkins at the quarterback, and he's going to go, and he's going to have some yardage, and I think he's into the end zone.
Get in there.
Over the goal line and into the end zone. Wilkins does the best retaliation possible and scores 6 for the Falcons. 1 minute remaining in this ball game. That's going to chalk on another 6, bring the score to 47 for the Falcons.
And again, a dream of a lifetime, I guess, Kevin, because I think that's the first time probably that he's carried a football also, and to take it in for a score, yeah, quite exciting for a young man.
Well, that gives the Falcons an even 40-point advantage right now against the Tarblooders, 47-7. Wilkins, after scoring the point, he's going to want to kick, and he can put on 7 himself right here. He's had 3 extra points so far this evening and 1 failed attempt.
I think here again we're going to be kicking a field goal again. I think we're going to run out of time here and going to get penalized because we don't have enough people on the field.
Wilkins is having a little problem there. Had to switch and get his gear for the kicking after scoring that touchdown. And that'll cost the Falcons 5, but after so many penalties we've had tonight, what's another 5? It's going to be a little longer kick for Wilkins.
And again, maybe, you know, when you stop and think about it, you know, even though it's still lined up in the center of the goalpost, it's a little bit longer, and again, giving him a little bit of work maybe along the lines of a field goal, I guess.
Things are heating up. Hopefully at the end of the ball game when this minute expires, we won't see an after-the-game altercation. Number 22 on the hold, new holder for the Falcons. That's Rob Tofill, but it's no good. It is to the right, and that'll keep the score at 47-7 for the Falcons.
And the way things are going, I'll be glad when this minute is over because there are some words being exchanged out there now between the two teams, and we wouldn't want to end the evening on a sour note, you know, and have a little altercation.
Yeah, the Falcons have played a good ball game tonight, and there's no need for any final after the game follies. So far in this last minute, it's been a little circus itself. Hopefully, after that score, things will cool down a bit. People will still get some experience, and the clock will run out with the 1 minute remaining. With the Falcons ahead 47-7, with their going into their second win of the year. They'll bring them to 2-2, still being 0-1 in the Steel Valley with their loss to Mooney last week, and their next Steel Valley Conference game will be against Ursuline 2 weeks from now down at YSU Stambaugh Stadium. Butcherelli with his best kick of the evening. That's a nice kick, dropping the Glenville person back to the 5-yard line. Tato Palick on good coverage, but he's able to get outside, and finally we had a bunch of people on that stop. And up goes another flag.
Yeah, there's a...
I think maybe the officials should keep the flags on the field, and when there's no penalty, pick them up. What do we got now? It has to be, it was after the play, it was a dead ball foul, maybe a face masking, maybe a little was flying in the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, too, you get some, again, people that haven't played a whole lot, they get a little overly aggressive because they do want to do well, and these kinds of things do happen sometimes. But the way things have been going the last 3 minutes, Kevin, I think you're right. There may be some other sports being integrated into the... We have some boxing and wrestling and...
any one-on-one contact sport is going on right now.
And karate and...
Each player has a personal enemy, I think. Falcons on defense. It's going to be another timing pattern. Williams is going to catch the ball. Good catch by Williams.
Amazing.
Scott on the coverage there again. And Jeff, I hate to mention it, but poor Jeff Scott's been getting a workout there by Mr. Williams.
Yeah, he's getting in good position, but you know what? And you know this, Kev, to be true. You know what you try to teach outside linebackers, defensive backs, try and get to the ball at its peak. You know, you got to go up and get off the ground, get up and get the ball in the air. And you know, we just haven't been doing that. We've been sitting and watching it, and instead of being a little more aggressive.
Reed's going to drop back again. And it's going to be that side. Oh, nice timing, I have to say. Good play out there by number, I think, 82.
And that was because
Kirk Pagoda.
I thought that was a completion all the way.
As soon as the receiver touched the ball, Vagoda touched his man and touched him hard. Good play by Vagoda. He was involved in one of those altercations earlier from the split end on the other end of the ball game. Starting to remember these names better now through all the conflict.
Yeah, we've had, you know, you stop and think about it, there's got to be at least 70 kids over there. And to try and get them all in at some time during the ball game is kind of difficult. And, of course, sometimes you may even have some kids playing out of position and what have you.
Coach Mike Audie coming out to coach on the defense. The referee is discussing with the Falcon players what will happen after the game, and hopefully it'll be a nice handshake and into the locker room. 6 seconds remaining in this ball game. It'll be the last play, hopefully. Hopefully the final gun will be the final gun. Couple of Austintown's finest down there on the track.
Right.
Maybe anticipating that their help will be needed. I hate to sound negative here about the Falcons or the Tarblooders, but hey, what the heck. Second down and 10, last play of the ball game. We hope, unless of course it's a defensive penalty, which is more than likely possible, have a civilian on the ball field down there.
That's Dr. Dockery, the father of Bart Dockery, who we mentioned here earlier, one of the coaches.
So they're taking a look at one of the Glenville players. Reed's going to drop back. It's going to go up in the air. And it's number 30. He's going to intercept the ball on the last play of the ball game. Time will run out. Matt Marakovich. And it looks like the game's going to peacefully break up here with the Falcons on the final tally having a 47-7 advantage over the Tarbletters. Falcons now go to 2-2, and the Tarbletters will drop to 0-4. Could size up the ball game, I guess. Go to offensive execution, probably an overmatched Glenville team, and hopefully Falcons team coming out of here with a lot more confidence tonight.
Right, because next week, next several weeks, Kevin, we're going to need it because we're up against some of the best football teams in the state, and we're going to need this kind of a performance, needless to say, to come out on top in those football games.
Next week, the Falcons will be traveling to Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. That's their second trip to Massillon.